Today's car has nearly 400 kilowatts, is an SUV, and can reach 100 Ks under 5 seconds. But it's not what you think it is. Would you have guessed it was a Volvo, a fully electric one? Yep, that's right, we're in the newly launched EX90 that just hit South African roads, and you and I are gonna be the first to review it. I won't lie, I'm super excited. This is my first fully electric car review, and the EX90 has definitely surprised me. It's fun, it's beautiful, and it's smart. It just has a different energy to it, pun intended. This is the twin performance variant, the only spec available for South Africa. It has a 111 kilowatt hour battery that powers twin motors on each axle, producing 380 kilowatts of power. Using the performance setting, you could easily hit 100 kilometers an hour in under 5 seconds, which is impressive for a nearly 3-ton SUV. It moves very well, especially when you put your foot down, like, yeah. Never get tired of that. Now, you might think, man, that sounds like fun to drive, hey? But let me tell you, the real worth of this car comes from its safety features. And this flagship model takes it a step further. For instance, you may have noticed that weird looking thing on the roof. At first I thought it was a roof scoop like you see on like performance McLarens or rally Subarus, but it's actually the housing for the lidar. And now you might be asking yourself, what is lidar? Well, it uses lasers to basically map out the environment and the surroundings of the car, and even the range between you and the car and ahead of you. This allows the EX90 to self-assess its surroundings and sort of help you with your drive. This is particularly evident when you're using cruise control. However, fully autonomous driving isn't available as of yet. It even has a sensor on the inside of the cabin monitoring me, the driver, and making sure that I'm paying attention to the road, that also I have my hands on the steering wheel, and if I happen to fall asleep, will actually make the car wake me up by stopping and jerking. But I'm a bit too afraid to actually try that out, and also I'm not that sleepy. While we're on the inside, just take a look at the theater of this cabin. It is really spacious, lots of headroom. I feel free to move my arms up and down, but I also just love the materials that they used on the inside. A lot of it is recyclable plastic and eco-friendly leather, or not eco-friendly leather, but leather-free leather, and reclaimed pine wood, which is actually very beautiful. Not that plasticky stuff, but actual like wood feeling finishes. This all reduces the EX90's environmental footprint while remaining luxurious and high class. You get this 14.5-inch Google-powered touch infotainment system that has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. You get a digital cluster, wireless charging, heated and massaging seats, a 27 speaker sound system, like that's mind-blowing, and it sounds really good. Now that we've stopped, all I just want to do is just jump back into this car and keep on going. But let's talk about a bit of the styling. As you may have noticed, there's one big flaw in this design, and you must have noticed it by now, which is the lidar housing, which is freaking crazy to have on this design. It's really weird, which doesn't really matter because the signature Thor's Hammer design inspired headlights. But the cool thing about these headlights is that the actual headlight is hidden behind the DRLs. You'll notice it's an EV from the grille, or the lack of one. Volvo has redesigned the faceplate to give it a more slick kind of view in the front. The bonnet is nicely designed and will house the first amount of storage you'll see on the car, which can hold up to a backpack or even the charging cable. You'll notice a very sleek side profile with flush door handles, but there are two amazing features that you'll notice on this. The first one is these 22-inch polished aluminium wheels. What a beautiful spec on this. It comes with these plastic kind of aero futuristic looking bits that not only look great, but actively reduce wind resistance, making the car more efficient. The next is this beautiful housing for these really chunky rearview mirrors. You'll notice that this housing contains two cameras, one for the side and one for the rear. This helps the car map its surroundings in a 3D kind of space, which helps for parking and for assisted driving. The back is just beautiful. I'll start off with these C-style lights that are just amazing. They also run up onto the boot lid, and it has a very slick and elegant back to it. But here's the real star of the boot. That's pretty cool. As you can see, with the back seats dropped, you get about 1,200 liters of space. But if you drop the middle row, that extends to about 1,500 liters of space. And I think that's pretty good. You could fit a small fridge. They even give you a small decal to show you what you could fit. The boot has a few additional features that will make your life a bit easier. For instance, you can drop and raise the back seats from here, as well as lower and adjust the suspension on the rear to drop the entire car, just to make it a bit more convenient for you to load something heavy or take out something light. So we're back on the road, and I wanted to touch on the driving experience. So this car has twin motors on each axle that really keeps it planted, especially around the corners. It really feels confident. But I think the easiest way to describe its handling is light and feathery. The car feels like it knows what it wants to do before even I know what I want it to do. It doesn't require a lot of input from the steering and the accelerator. Every EV driver has range anxiety, but I think the EX90 kind of puts your mind at ease with its impressive range. It boasts 600 kilometer range, but that's all sort of dependent on how you drive. Like for instance, if you put it in performance mode, it does kind of change that. But playing around with it for the past few days, shuttling people to the airport, going from the south of Cape Town to the north of Cape Town, back to CBD, I think it really does achieve that 600 kilometer range. But I guess I would have to get the car for a longer than a weekend to really test it out. I mean, Volvo, if you guys are interested, let's do this. So speaking of EVs and range and things, you have to mention charging. And since this was my first experience actually, charging an EV, I thought it was pretty cool. When you purchase the EX90, it gives you a wall charger for one. They come and do it, free installation, but they also give you a charge card that you can use at any of the stations around the country, I suppose. There are a few different types. There's 20 watts to 60 watts, and we charged by the 60 watt, which gave me about maybe from 20 to about 77% worth of battery in less than 45 minutes. However, at the 120 watt chargers, you can get a full battery in less than half an hour. All right, let's talk about the damage, the pricing. Look, this car is starting at 2.65 million rand, and that's not for the likes of me, a poor reviewer just hustling in the world. However, compared to its competition, I can see what Volvo was going for, especially compared to like the BMW iX or the Mercedes EQS. Look, you get a lot of additional extras when you purchase this car. Like I mentioned, the wall charger plus the charge card that's valid for 3 years, so you get free charging for 3 years. Alright, there are a few nuances to owning the EX90. For instance, a lot of the controls and the basics of a car's functionality live within the touch screen. Like, for instance, if you want to just change your climate control, it's kind of a bit of a difficult thing to maneuver. And it takes so long that you kind of get distracted, and the car knows this because it's looking at you from the sensor in the front here. It actually warns you. So I think those certain things could have been made into physical buttons, or maybe a bit more easier in a navigation system. But hey, who knows, maybe a software update from Google will sort all of that out. Look, I think Volvo may have went a bit too hard on the minimalism for this car. It might actually be a bit of an inconvenience to the driver, but I understand what they may have been going for, and I genuinely think if you take the time to understand it, you really will appreciate it. Yeah. So a big kind of maybe security feature, especially in South Africa, is this little key fob. It's not really a key, but I kind of have to make distance between me and the car for it to actually close, which isn't really safe in South Africa. This really has been an amazing adventure with the EX30. I really love this car for everything that it has to offer. I really think Volvo and the EX90 deliver something truly amazing for the South African market. I do wish to see these on the roads, but I guess the price and maybe some of the quirks will only tell us with time. What a wonderful car. I'm thoroughly surprised by an all-electric car. That is a first, folks, I won't lie. But if you like this review of it, please like, subscribe, and share this video. I really need the engagement. But I hope to see you guys in the next one, and peace out.